Welcome back, guys. Rob of Rule of Two Review here, and today, how about that Xbox One? So if everything went according to plan, then you should have just seen the brand new video intro that I've created for the channel, which of course includes kind of a montage of a bunch of random video game clips, but also, more importantly, brings back the old school 1-bit podcast theme. So I was really kind of happy to do that. I realized I still had that theme. It wasn't that long ago that we were still doing the 1-bit podcast. We did that for quite a few years, saw a bunch of success on iTunes, as I've talked about before, which is what inspired me to bring the show in a different format to YouTube, in the video format, because I thought it was a better way to reach you guys and to kind of do what it is that I and my friends, part of the Rule of Two Review crew, kind of do. So I was like, I might as well put this little intro together and bring back that great classic song. So I hope you guys dug it. So the first topic I wanted to talk about today is pretty interesting news. Mostly, it's really good news. Apparently, Microsoft has recently revealed that the Xbox has sold 3 million units worldwide since it launched. That's pretty cool, and I'm not going to lie, it's kind of more than I really expected, to tell you the truth. As of course we all know, it went up against the PlayStation 4, which had ridiculous hype going into the release. Looking back on it, I still don't even think that I know or understand exactly how Sony managed to pull that off, but kudos to them. I love Sony and I love the PlayStation brand, so I'm glad they're seeing such good success. As far as the Xbox goes, it seemed like because of their turbulent year and all of the bad press and everything surrounding their initial reveal, that it was going to be a rougher road going into it, and apparently that doesn't seem to be the case. So what's really interesting when actually looking at the numbers that are apparently being reported, via the press release that I read and was able to find, apparently they claimed that the Xbox One had sold over 2 million units in the first 18 days, and apparently half of those would have been in the first 24 hours. So that's 1 million units effectively in that first 24 hours. The other 1 million in the next 17 days, just a little over 2 weeks, and then I guess another million or so since, 18 days from the 22nd in the last... It's December 6th today, January 6th today, 2014. So I guess, and then that last month they sold yet even another million. So that's interesting because, let me think, they sold 1 million in the first 24 hours, which I don't really know that I believe, but apparently that's what they're saying. And I remember that when the PlayStation 4 had launched just a week prior, Sony was really big on saying I can't even remember now if it was 1 or 1.5 million in the first 24 hours. And that was, now here's the difference though, is that was whatever they were claiming. I think it was also around 1 million. So let's say they both say that they sold 1 million units in the first 24 hours, which I don't know that I believe that for the Xbox One, but if it's true, then awesome. I definitely believe it for the PlayStation 4. However, the PlayStation 4 launched in far less territories than the Xbox One. The other big thing is that we know, of course, the PlayStation 4 didn't launch in Japan. It's native territory where we know it would have sold and will sell as of next month when it finally launches so many units. And I don't believe that the Xbox One launched in Japan either. However, there's already not a market to really account for when it comes to the Xbox. That's really just a Sony and a Nintendo area. For some reason, the American-owned Microsoft company just can't really seem to move units and sell games in Japan, which I think is sad because it's a great brand and it's a great system overall. And I think that Japanese gamers in that market are really depriving themselves of a whole nother facet of really good games. So that's just kind of too bad. But hey, it is what it is. So let's say that Sony was able to get the PlayStation 4 out in Japan at the time that it launched. I mean, it's possible. I don't want to say that it would have doubled because I don't think it would have been able to move 1 million units. The market just isn't that big, but another several 100,000 would have been added. You could have said a 1.5 million worldwide for the PlayStation 4 as of its launch day, which would have been really amazing in the first 24 hours. Apparently, according to this article I'm reading, they say that 2.1 million units for the PlayStation 4 had been sold as of early December. So if we think of the first 18 days for the Xbox One, and then early December for the PlayStation 4, between 2 million units, 2.1 million units, it sounds like they're pretty dead even. However, I think that the ultimate sales projections for both units right now still definitely favor the PlayStation 4 by quite a bit. Let me find my little chart thing that I had here. So I went to, and you can laugh at me if you will, but I went to VG Charts because I've done a lot of research into exactly how VG Charts gets their numbers and what they do. And it's pretty safe to assume that at the end of the day, they're fairly accurate. Are they 100%? No. The NPD stopped releasing video game numbers a few years ago. For some reason, it's just this big old mystery about how video games and consoles sell, and I have no idea why it's this way in this industry, but that's what it is. VG charts, what they do, and how they reach out and talk to the different retailers across the world to get ideas of how much they sell is fairly accurate. If anything, it's probably, while still not dead on accurate, the most accurate source of sales information that us as consumers and regular kind of, even, I don't want to call myself a journalist because I'm just a guy with a YouTube channel, but still people who report and talk about news, have commentary about news and the things going on in the industry. It's the most relevant and immediately available and fairly accurate source. So that aside, I went to VG charts because, like I said, I believe in them for the most part. And when you look at the sales numbers for the two as of this, is it last week or this week? This looks like last week. They have basically exactly what it seems like Microsoft is reporting. They have 2.9 million Xbox Ones sold worldwide as of basically last week. That's 3 million units. That's awesome. They've done a really good job. What's interesting is it looks like the PlayStation 4 has as a whole 1 million leap on top of that. They have 3.9 million units sold worldwide. The Wii U, of course, has a pretty big jump on them overall because it did have the extra year. That's sitting at 5.2 million units, which looks really great right now. Of course, we know the first 9 months of the freaking lifespan of the Wii U, they had no games and nothing good going on, sadly. So it really did struggle and didn't start to pick up until just this last 2 months or so, last holiday. So it's good to know that it's picking up, but it still had a really abysmal first year overall for sales. So while it has a good 3 million unit lead on the other two systems, it's pretty fair to say, especially with how fast PlayStation 4s are selling out and how well they're selling consistently, that should be eclipsed in the next few months. I would gauge by summertime or so, the PlayStation 4 will probably eclipse that 1 year lead that the Wii U had because it had such a poor first year of sales, unfortunately. But that's also going to boast very well for the PlayStation 4 and for Sony, so I'm really glad they're seeing success. As far as the Xbox One, now that it's been slowing down, on my last video I mentioned that when I went into GameStop just a few nights ago to pick something up, they had a sign that said, "We have Xbox Ones in stock," and I was chatting with the two GameStop employees who were there about the fact that they had them and what was going on and how things were going. And they said that, after the Christmas rush, they got one huge shipment of Xbox Ones and they've pretty much been in stock ever since. And I think that seems to be the case with my other local GameStop I normally go to that I did go to earlier today, and Best Buy and, other big stores like that. It seems like Xbox Ones are now pretty much in stock and available. So the sales for that are slowing down. So, according to all this information, like I had also talked about last time, this is probably why I feel that the Xbox One had a fantastic, amazing surge right away. It did really well. It rode a lot of hype, and Microsoft did a good job kind of overstepping all of those mistakes they made throughout the entire 2013 year. It was just ridiculous, all the things that they were doing and the bad press they had. But I give them credit for turning it around and making it become a semi-appealing system against the massive hype that the PlayStation 4 had. So good for them. However, now that it's starting to slow down, and I know that people's interest is starting to wane, and they obviously are still keeping their interest in the PlayStation 4, I feel like there's no doubt, like I said, especially by summertime, the PlayStation 4 will become the highest install-based next-gen platform available. I do think that the Wii U's sales are going to continue to increase and that its install base is going to continue to grow this year. I feel like it's got over its really turbulent issues and all the mistakes that Nintendo were initially making in that first year. There's a lot of good games coming out this year. Smash Brothers and Mario Kart are two first-party examples of games that are going to move millions of units. I think it's going to double its lifespan this year. Double its install base this year. So I think that's going to be really great. The Xbox One, I think, is going to now hit a period. I do not think this will last, but I think it's going to hit a period where it's going to slow down. And I do think that come December 31st, 2014, the end of this year, that the Xbox One will have the third highest amount of consoles in people's homes. I think it's going to go Xbox One at number 3, Wii U at number 2, PlayStation 4 at number 1. Which is fine. I'm sure that Xbox One is going to surge in sales near the end of the year, especially if Halo 5 really does come out this year, which I'm hoping. I'm such a Halo fan. I don't care what anyone says. I love that series. So if they do get that out this year, that's going to be huge for their holiday. And I'm sure they'll have other big stuff. So that actually leads me to the next thing that I want to talk about with the Xbox One. Excuse me. Which is, I had a revelation today, and I even posted this on my personal Facebook page earlier today. Just in looking over stuff and news and thinking about what's going on and what's upcoming, and reminiscing about either my last video, which was about what 2014 will mean for gaming as an industry and the consoles and the PC space and all that stuff. And I mean, I'm a Nintendo fan first and foremost. That is no secret. Everyone knows that. But I love the other two guys as well. I love everything. I have no hate for anything out there. I'm a big fan of it. I will own it all. I'm a huge PlayStation fan. I love Sony. I love the PlayStation brand. The PlayStation 3 became my favorite last-gen system last gen, even though I spent a lot of time with the Wii, and I'm a Nintendo guy, and I love the Wii. At the end of the day, the PlayStation 3 just had better games, and it was a more impressive unit overall come the end. So they did a really good job stealing that thunder from such a big Nintendo fan like myself. And so I'm, of course, a fan of the PlayStation 4. I want to be, I should say. I'm very excited to pick one up. I know that it's going to be great. However, even with my lack of hype overall for the Xbox One, I suddenly just had this epiphany that was, there's really not a lot that we know about for the PlayStation 4 that is coming that I'm excited about. I already own a Wii U, so there's plenty of stuff for the Wii U that I'm excited about, and a 3DS and a PC. I do not own the PS4 or the Xbox One yet. However, when thinking about the games, I was like, there's way more for the Xbox One that I'm actually excited about right now. I actually want far more games for that platform than I do the PlayStation 4. So effectively, I now am more excited to own an Xbox One than I am a PlayStation 4. As a much bigger Sony and PlayStation fan than I am an Xbox fan, that was really crazy to say, but I had to just be honest. I mean, at the end of the day, features this, controllers that, blah, blah, blah. Like, none of that stuff really matters to me. It really is about the games. That's what really good game companies and game developers will drive home and will keep at the forefront of their business model and their development plans is it's the games and it's the software. And I think that right now, because there isn't a lot of software for the PlayStation 4 I'm excited about that we know of, I have to go with the Xbox One. I'm really excited for Titanfall. That's the kind of game that does appeal to that side of me. I think it's going to be great. I believe in those guys, and I believe in the Respawn studio, so I think it's going to be fantastic. Sunset Overdrive looks great. We know Halo 5 is coming soon, and it is, as of right now, I think expected to be this year. There's a lot of really cool things coming, and I really want to play Dead Rising 3 and Killer Instinct. Like, those are big deals. There's nothing available right now for the PlayStation 4 that I care about. The only thing I'd play for the PlayStation 4, I could play somewhere else. I mean, that's the other thing, is it's the exclusive we're talking about. I mean, I'm a Call of Duty guy, but I've been playing that on the Wii U since launch, so I'd have no reason to play it for any of the other two systems or a PC. I'm not really a Battlefield guy. I just was trying Assassin's Creed 4, didn't really like that. So as far as what's exclusive, I've played Killzone, didn't really care for it. I played Resogun. It's certainly fun, but it's not a system seller. It's not a big deal, built onto the system. It's really cool, but it's nothing special to me. And I've played Knack a little bit, and normally those are the kind of games I love, but it didn't really blow me away or excite me. So there's nothing available currently for the PlayStation 4 I'd want to play. There is stuff available currently for the Xbox One that I do want to play. I am excited to a degree for Infamous Second Son. I think that's going to be pretty cool and a lot of fun, but I'm not like chomping at the bit for it. I think it's the kind of game that if I had a PlayStation 4 already, I would be like, well, this is one of the first high profile exclusive games. It's supposed to be not bad. I kind of enjoyed the first. I would check it out. But that's really it. I mean, excuse me, guys. I've actually been kind of getting sick, so I'm trying to keep my coughing under wraps a little bit for you. But when it comes to upcoming stuff, the Order 1866 is an interesting beast in that I think there's a lot of potential. The idea and the studio behind it could be really great, but we don't know much about it. We don't know when it's coming out. We've just had one CG trailer that only looked okay. I really don't. It could be something that would blow me away and I can't wait for, or it could be something that I would totally pass on. And since we A, don't know the answers to that, and B, don't know if it's this year, it doesn't really count. It's nothing for the PlayStation 4 that excites me. I mentioned this stuff for the Xbox One that I am certainly excited for now. Here's the other thing. This is the last point I'll leave on this topic. When it comes to the PlayStation 4, the things that we know will come for the PlayStation 4 are the kinds of things that get me excited, that remind me why I love Sony, that get me chomping at the bit to have a PlayStation 4 in my home. We know Uncharted's going to come in the next year or two. We know they're making another God of War. We know that they're making a Little Big Planet. There's probably another big one that I'm just brain farting. Ratchet and Clank, games like that, like the stuff that Sony makes that I love, I really love, and I cannot wait. Whatever other Naughty Dog's other game is going to be, we know it's a two-studio team. They just finished Last of Us. The other studio was working on Uncharted, we know. So whether they're making a sequel to Last of Us or another game, that's going to be something I can't wait for. All that stuff. So when we finally start hearing about knowing when these PS4 games are coming, that's when my feeling on that is going to change. Because at the end of the day, I'm a bigger fan of those games than I am for what the Xbox does. But since we don't know, it's all a mystery as of right now. None of it's announced. I don't think Uncharted 4 is going to come out this year. So as of right now, 2014, PlayStation 4 it's a great unit. I can't wait to own one when it's worth it. But as of right now, it's not exciting me. Xbox One, kudos Microsoft, because it slowly is becoming apparent to me that you actually do have some kick-ass games on the way, stuff that makes me, Rob, excited to play and makes me want to own your system. And that's funny because the whole debate with Microsoft and the Xbox One is it the gamers console or is it meant for entertainment in living rooms and old people? And it's kind of showing that it is maybe still the gamers console we always thought it could be. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts. And what do you guys think? Xbox One, PS4, Wii U, where do you stand? Alrighty, guys. Well, I had another story or two that I wanted to talk about today, but my sickness is getting to me. My voice is starting to crack. My throat's drying up. So I really don't want to be that guy that's all sick and voice cracking to the internet, trying to bring you guys pretty interesting news and stuff to talk about. So I think I'm going to leave it at that conversation about the Xbox and the next gen stuff. So as always, thank you for tuning in. There's a link in the Facebook page in the description below. So definitely click that, like the page, subscribe to the channel, please, like the video, share the video, let us know what you think below. And as always, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you guys next time.